Welcome to the Winds of Chaos, the Dungeons & Dragons campaign where you can influence the course of the game. You can harness the Winds of Chaos, this nefarious force of change sweeping across the lands of Gondara, by donating bits during the stream to help or hinder our heroes. For 300 bits, our heroes may find a useful, mundane, non-magical item. For 400 or 500 bits, you can buff the monsters that our heroes are facing with a minor or major mutation, respectively. Special thanks to our community's very own Bo the Distance for creating the random monster mutation table that we roll on for these redeems. For 600 bits, you can compel a player character's flaw. 700 bits grants inspiration to one player character. That's a reroll of a d20 during a clutch moment. And for 800 bits, you can make Flutter Die roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, our community's favorite. Flutter's character, Kiona, is a wild magic sorcerer. That means that she doesn't have full control over her arcane powers, and every now and then, well, you'll just have to wait and see what happens. Finally, subscribers to the Dungeon Masters channel, that's twitch.tv/ghostpepper, can harness the Winds of Chaos to blow a custom NPC or magic item of appropriate level into the party's path. Please DM me on Discord for more info. Oh, one last thing. If you're a regular supporter of this campaign and you know, redeeming or subscribing or things like that are things that you do fairly regularly, please consider subscribing to our monthly coffee plan. We use the proceeds from that to go directly towards funding improvements to the game, music, artwork, subscriptions to different services that make our game that much better. Any monthly supporters get a free Major Monster Mutation, Wild Magic Surge, custom NPC, or magic item once per month. We really appreciate all of our coffee subscribers, all of our bits redeemers, and every single one of you who watches the game. Please enjoy the show.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Look, we tried muting Ghost, but it just wouldn't take.
Oh well. Oh, Flutter is muted. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Shagraz, Megan, Torvax, how are you doing?
Okay, how about that? Yay!
There we go.
You guys, hi! How's everybody doing?
I could hear you the whole time.
Alright,
I don't know what they're talking about.
I know, right?
Runewolf.
Can we please do the thing that I'm asking you to do? Website? Oh boy. Guys, let me know if there's any stuttering or bad things going on with the stream. Yeah, I want to manage to stream.
You read 13,000 words. What did you read?
What did you
13,000 words about Shagraz?
Shagraz. Yo, what's up, Striker? Shagraz, Rune, Wolf, Torvax. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Gars wrote 13,000 words on how kind he is to everyone.
Yay!
About a man and his axe and the blood of his enemies. So, like...
I mean...
Conan the Barbarian?
Conan. He's got a sword.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, who is Kevin Sorbo?
Oh, that was Hercules, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not Hercules.
Yes.
No. It's
Xena
another, like,
and
Robert
Hercules.
E. Howard.
Oh.
No. He was Hercules, yes.
Okay, well that's... But he was!
Cull the Conqueror.
Oh,
Cull the Conqueror. He had the axe.
Yeah,
That's what
Cull.
it is. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah. Well, the movie sucked.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it had Kevin Sorbo in it, so... Like...
Right. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
You just skipped... See?
Yeah, Hercules and Andromeda. I knew it wasn't either of those things.
But
So and I said repeatedly that it's not Hercules.
right, but he did play
Hercules.
Oh, you're asking how you are.
I was doing
that
the
you
same
wrote
thing
13,000 words.
Sam Raimi's Hercules.
It's awesome that you wrote 13,000
How
words,
are
though.
you? I didn't see it because I had to refresh my page.
Shagraz is out of here too. See you, Shagraz.
We'll miss you. We love you.
Wait.
Fever.
Shagraz forgot that I was going to be at D&D. So it's like, I'm out of here. Oh yeah, this guy's here. I'm out of here.
Oh, you wrote 13,000 words. I was gonna say that you probably wrote 13,000 words when Shagraz read 13,000 words, but I also see because I got the Shagraz part, but not the Megan part, so that's why I didn't say the thing. Sorry.
Shagraz is letting you know that your redeems are still
Oh my
on.
gosh, thank you.
And then Torvax is making us hydrate.
We can do that. Thank you for letting me know, reminding me. I forgot. I'll get it in a second here.
Yes, Runewolf. Speaking of Kevin Sorbo, he did star in some D&D low-budget movies with Matt Mercer as the main antagonist. I did watch that entire movie series. It is on YouTube. I don't remember what its name was, but it was awful. It was really, really bad. Matt Mercer was the shining light of that.
What if I redeem shots?
All of the protagonists sucked. Kevin Sorbo
I was
sucked.
thinking that today would be a terrific day for that, because honestly, I think it's gonna be a fun session tonight. I'm very excited for tonight's session, despite the fact that it took me up until minutes before getting online to pick which spell that Kiona was gonna get for her next level.
Yep.
I think maybe I'll wait until the session starts for you guys to find out. Until it happens.
She went for the Joe spell.
Summon Shagraz is her
Summon
spell.
Joe. Summon Joe is what it's called. Hey, broken spell. Yeah, Shagraz.
That's
Yeah,
the one.
you got it.
That's the one. Hello, Broken Shell.
Broken Shell.
This is session 0 is when I know Kiona was cobbled
For
together
the Eden spell. That's a good
by
one.
piece
Eden
by
spell is a
piece
good one.
from the very the Eden spell is good. Yeah, Kiona's like a mess that we have been piecing together as it goes on.
I decide what to do with Mazra every level.
Yeah. Mazra has changed a lot too. I think that's cool though because we have shifted. We have shifted in where potentially we thought our characters were gonna go in the beginning because we didn't plan it from the beginning, right? We're like, and I think the same thing goes for Foodle, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we're all aware that Foodle is probably the best, well put together character of the three of us.
Oh
my God.
By far,
And
because
some of the-
actually
and some
knows
of the
how to use this
things-
stuff.
Some of the things he DM'd me about too for this level up. I mean, he's like sent me a tweet by Jeremy Crawford, and so,
Fine.
so
Holly,
you know it's
Holly
gonna be,
knows his shit.
you know it's gonna be
like-
overtuned. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm panic texting Ghost or panicking Ghost like, right, I have 4 spells that I can't pick between. On one hand, I could pick this one because of that. On another hand, I could pick that one because of this. On the third hand, I could pick this one because of that. But I don't think that it would work like that, actually. And Ghost is like, yeah.
And I'm here like, just pick whatever
Yeah.
you want. I don't, like, it doesn't matter.
Kiona has 4 hands, technically, because we were also
Just
counting on
4.
Lottie's hands. in the
She
group
doesn't
chat that I
have
sent
hands. She's an
to
incorporeal
Wolf
being.
and Flumps, I did say on one of Lottie's hands, I have this spell. It is a thing.
She doesn't have hands. She's an amorphous being.
Well, she amorphouses right into Kiona sometimes, so I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
They. I should say they. I really feel like Lottie is a they for sure, but also
Okay.
Kiona has kinship with them in a way that is much the same. She can have as many hands as she wants. Yes. You can touch yourself! Yes! That's
That
the
is
whole,
true.
That's the
That's
best
true.
part
In
of it.
D&D, you can touch yourself.
I'm in a mood
Yep.
today, you guys. We're gonna have a spicy episode, I think.
All right.
We're gonna see the Muffin Man today. Oh, I'm so excited.
Some of these characters, I completely don't remember what their voice is because we haven't seen them in probably close to a calendar year. I feel like the Muffin Man was like Jason Statham.
Did you really just say that?
but
I
I
should
don't
stop
remember.
making sex jokes and go get my tacos, Megan.
If it helps,
I love
I
you.
had hot dogs for dinner, so
Oh, see? They
Oh,
were
right on.
they're
There you go. There you go.
I bet you could, Megan.
All right. So we have a roleplay warm-up question
Oh,
of
yeah.
the day. What's your command again? Oh, you've got it. There we go. So our roleplay warm-up question of the day is: describe a moment you acted too hastily. What were the consequences? And now this is, of course, in reference to your D&D characters. So if you have a D&D or other TTRPG character near and dear to your heart, please share their answer in the chat. And I see that Cauliflums has arrived.
I
Hello,
already have an answer. Oh no!
I made it. Hello.
You
Sorry.
made
it.
That's all good.
Oh no,
I'm so
what did I
glad to
do
be
now? Okay, hold on. It's fine.
here. Oh,
I'll
sorry.
fix
Oh,
it
yeah,
while you
just
talk.
hide-
There we go.
Just
I
hide
got
the
it.
non-video
It's fine. I'm
peeps,
gonna have to
right?
fix
Oh,
it when we
never
get to the
mind.
playing screen too, but that's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Welcome,
right.
Flips!
Hello, thank you.
How's it
I'm
going?
so excited to be here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
a roleplay warm-up question today is to describe a moment when your character acted too hastily. What were the consequences? While our players are thinking of this, chat, if you have any D&D or other TTRPG characters who are near and dear to your heart, please provide us with an answer for them and share your character tales with us.
Darfin's answer.
What's that? Hold on. What is Darfin's answer? Oh my god. Darfin feels that he was acting a bit hastily and being born would like to reconsider. Yeah.
Flops, thank you. I love you, my friend.
All right.
I love you too.
So while our friends are considering their answers to this roleplay warm-up question of the day, there it is. I was waiting for this to pop up. I have some thank yous to distribute. Thank you number 1 is to our coffee subscribers. Those are Snozberries, ATM Zero, Bard Owl, and Bruce Campbell Soup. Thank you so much for your ongoing support of this campaign. Thanks to your membership, we can afford to do a lot of fun stuff, like have dynamic lighting in Roll20, have our world anvil, things like that. So thank you so much. Remember, if you have your $5 coffee membership, you get a free redeem once per month. So please make sure that you use those redeems. That's for like a custom NPC, magic item to give to one of the characters, get Kiona to Wild Magic Surge, give inspiration to the party, mutate a monster to make it more difficult in battle. Up to you. Yeah, no worries, Flutter. Second thank you is to Starborn Striker and Bow the Distance for being our rules lawyers, helping us out with any what do the rules say about this particular situation. So there are some particular situations in D&D where the rules are not entirely clear. So thank you both of you for being our rules lawyers. And I feel like I need to give a little bit of a shout out. Today was our rules lawyer Bow the Distance's first stream. So if you're not already following,
I missed it.
yeah.
No.
How did you miss that?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So they are
That's sneaky.
yeah, so they're making their way towards affiliate. So please go follow Bow the Distance. I know a lot of us in this chat are hold them very near and dear to their heart. So we want to support them as they begin as they join our little streaming family here. Final thank you is for Vinyl Stencil. Who I always say that's the final thank you, but we all know there's one after that.
It's the vinyl.
but-
Thank you.
The vinyl
The
thank you.
Vinyl,
The
thank
vinyl-
you.
The vinyl thank you goes, of course, to Vinyl
Yes.
Stencil for helping us to organize the bits redeems and the rewards, the community rewards and the community redeems and things like that, so that we can keep gameplay going smoothly. And really, finally, thank you to all of you just for being here and just for being you, because the humor and the passion and the gentle ribbing and constant insults of our community.
Thank you for
and
gently
the-
ribbing us, chat.
yeah, and shut up. So I'm just gonna add some NPC to that dragon you guys want to fight.
Oh, God.
So But thank you so much to the community just for being you and chilling with us every single week as we go through this chaos. All right. So, roleplay warm-up question. Describe a moment you acted too hastily and what were the consequences? Let's hear it. I had to reload the chat, so
Oh no. Okay.
anybody who posted anything before my resub, I missed it.
So, jokingly, Striker did say that Darfin would choose not to be born, which I thought was hilarious. But for serious, Darfin didn't tell someone he loved them before he died, and now he wishes that he had. That is such a sad story.
Oh, jeez.
We need to save Darfin, you guys.
I know.
We'll get there eventually.
Alternately,
That's up to you guys.
Fema would never admit this, but she probably accepted being a warlock without reading the terms and conditions. Though she doesn't know if
That
she would
sounds
make a
about
different choice in retrospect. I could see that. I could see that a ton. I think that's everybody in chat so far.
All right. Well, Flutter, why don't we start with you for Kiona?
I think the obvious answer here is going for the book and causing Tisiphone to like destroy her. Essentially, probably was a hasty thing that she should not have done. But let's face it, Kiona makes every decision hastily in some way, shape, or form, I think. So I think there are probably quite a few, if I really. But that one sticks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Wolf, what about Mazra? There was a claim in the chat that Mazra has never made a
Never
hasty
once.
decision. Yeah.
So she would tell you probably using the Ortskara in the street, but probably she won't admit this because she doesn't think it was hasty. It was having a little sippy sip of stranger's blood because
Right.
look, they have a mystery to solve and it seemed practical at the time. So
Right.
It
Sure,
seemed
it's fine.
practical at the time.
How
Amazing.
does drinking some? Okay, you know what? We're gonna move on.
I just refreshed too.
That was the condition on whether she was going to get the info she wanted.
It's
Mhm.
true. Okay, yeah, that is practical. That is very practical.
And in no way ever going to come back on.
Oh, right, to haunt us. Yeah.
Hmm.
Cauliflums, what about Foodle?
What do we got?
I mean, when has he not? I think like just because no one said it yet, and I don't remember because it's been so long, but there was a portal that we had no idea where it went, and I think probably Foodle was just like, "Okay, guys, let's go," and just like ran into that portal, and then I think Kiona followed. I don't know. Maybe you remember Flutter, but then poor Mazra is just left standing there. I think even Leader was there with us, and so
Yeah.
obviously Goldrill went in too, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
and then poor Maz was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
really?
she almost walked away at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
like-
early on. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what happened? We all fucking died. It was not good. It was terrible. It turned out really, really bad. So yeah. Ugh.
Big wipe. Yep,
Yeah. Oops.
big wipe.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Well, if you're out there and you've got an answer for your character, feel free to throw them into chat. But for the time being, we're going to get ourselves started. So, she was doing her steps. Okay. I thought she came back to the computer specifically to type that browse message. Okay.
Amazing.
So you can always type in exclamation WOC recap to get a recap on the last few sessions. Wolf has been fastidious in maintaining that piece. But as a small recap, you have finished your business in the Rift. You think you may have done some good in changing the social order there, but that's that job is one that is going to take months, perhaps years to come to fruition, and you don't have that kind of time. It's time for the caravan to move on. You have greater mysteries to solve, greater adventures to pursue. You've got captains of the Super Guard to find and rescue.
That's right.
And you have a new home to find for your people. And so you have rejoined the caravan, and our adventure begins with you sort of trundling along with your nomadic community across a great grassy plain as the train of wagons and horses and carriages veers southward towards the Luxari hegemony, the homeland of the elves. As you're moving along, these next few days of rest and recuperation, in which, by the way, you can all take a long rest if you haven't done so already. But the days following your departure from the Rift are fairly laid back, fairly leisurely. There are a few odd jobs to do around the caravan, and you do kind of fulfill your roles as forward scouts, but there doesn't seem to be much out here in the way of threats, and a lot of the people in the caravan, like Mayor Roundtree and Undrelor, who are normally sending you requests or volunteering you to do things, have kind of been taking it easy on you, because you've had quite a past few weeks, frankly, to be honest, since you first set off from Cormantia up to Zwergenheim, then east to the Rift, and now making completion of a long loop southwards towards the Elven realms. So I haven't been asking you to do too much, and you had opportunities to catch up with friends, family, and generally rest and see to some personal matters as you need to. The caravan is frequently joined by merchants traveling between some of the different settlements in this area, people coming to and from the Rift, a couple merchants, but not very many, identifying themselves as coming up from the hegemony territory to the south. And they're frequently making their stop, join the caravan for a little bit, ride along with them, sell some of their wares in the evening time when the caravan stops and unfolds its carriages and wagons into a little pop-up town. What are you folks up to? Is there any burning desires to do anything, to see anybody?
I did just send you a message on. Okay, you can go first, Foodle.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Foodle's. So, I know Ghost is reading. Foodle really wants to. He's been working for. It's been, I think, in game, like maybe at least a couple weeks, if not a few months, because it's been spread out, right? He's been working on becoming proficient with the healer's kit. and a lot of his training, if not all, a lot of his training has come from Andrea Pantalonia, and so he wants to go work on that training again with her.
Excellent. I cannot wait to voice Andrea Pantalonia
So
All right,
heads
so
over
yeah,
to
one
the wagon.
yeah, so one late afternoon, you head over to her wagon when it's stopped after the caravan has completed its this leg of the journey for the day. And sorry, I thought my door was opening. And she's stopped the wagon and opened up her little pop-up tea shop. You see the same kind of usual suspects hanging out on the little wooden tables and chairs outside of her tiny tea shop wagon. The grumpy warrior Shukador, the sort of shy and bookish dragonborn Buttercup, with her snout buried in a book as usual. And of course, when you enter into the Pantaloon tea shop, you, as you never do, you don't see any sign of the proprietor around.
Oh, Andrea? Hello? Is anyone here?
Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Who is that? Hi.
Hello, it's Foodle.
Foodle. Oh. You special noodle. Foodle the noodle. Hold on.
And then you just hear her go, as she picks herself up over the counter. The diminutive half elf peers over the edge at you and giggles when she sees you. Well, it's so good to see you again.
It's wonderful seeing you again.
Are you here for more lessons?
Yes. Yeah, I've been thinking about what you've taught me already, and I've been practicing a little bit here and there, and I think I'm ready for more. I hope.
Well, you know what I've been thinking about?
What?
What a precious little pumpkin you are.
Oh, Andrea,
She
you're
comes
the best.
around. She comes around the counter and grabs both your cheeks in her hands and just.
Andrea, how about a hug? It's been too long.
Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? And she wraps you in a big old hug.
Oh, this feels like home.
It's wonderful to have you here again, Foodle.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I guess before we start, maybe we should get some tea.
Oh yes, that's a wonderful idea. Here, I'll pour you one of my very best. This is a new concoction that I came up with.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
And she sprinkles some tea leaves into a cup and pours hot water over it and strains the leaves out after a moment, and you see her adorably sort of knit her brow in concentration. You almost see a sweat drop down her brow as she's thinking, as she's counting 22, 23, 24 and a half. And she pulls it out and she passes the cup over to you. And she sits here on the counter like this.
Oh, okay.
Watching
Interesting.
you.
All right. Foodle's going to take a sip. As you do with tea, right? And he's going
Are you asking for
to-
confirmation?
No. I'm getting my.
Okay.
I realized I don't have my dice. I got my blue dice, but that's for the other campaign. I got to get my green dice for Foodle.
Mm.
Because I was going to roll a d20 to see if he likes it or not. If he needs to roll deception or anything. Oh God. Please like it. Oh God, it didn't even go in the tower. Thank you, Bo, for the tower. Oh no, it's a 3. Okay, Foodle doesn't like it, but he's gonna do his best to be like.
Okay. So the tea, you're not sure what's in it. There's like some, there's like the really pleasant part of it is like there's a little bit of like cocoa in it, like not cocoa powder, but like cocoa seed,
right,
in it. It gives it sort of like a little bit of a cocoa-y, chocolatey flavor. But very quickly, that's followed up with like a roundhouse kick to the face of very hot chili.
Ooh. That's something. Ooh.
Do you like it?
Yes. Oh, God. I'm lying to Andrea.
Does it make you want to scream?
Oh my God, that's a 17 plus 2 for 19
For deception.
total.
Okay.
For deception.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I made this one. Yes. I made this one for Shukador. He never he doesn't show his feelings too much. So I thought this might help him to do that.
Yeah, I think this is gonna do the trick. Oh,
I think so too. I got it from they have some really a visiting merchant showed me these really fascinating dried chili peppers from far to the south. Look at this. And she turns around, and behind the counter she pulls on these big gloves and then puts on these goggles that looks like she got them from Wilner and Knott, and she pulls out like a pair of metal tongs, and she reaches down and picks up this dried chili, and she holds it in both hands, kind of in your direction, but she's holding it at her arm's length and also keeping it arm's length away from you. Now don't get too close, Foodle, but just have a little bit of a waft. Try it.
should I have goggles too? Is this dangerous?
No.
No?
Only when
alright.
you're the one handling it. You're just wafting. Waft.
Okay. All right, I see.
Waft.
All right, I'll waft. Foodle does like a bit of a whiff.
And you think that like Mazra shoved the Ord Skara up your nose and smashed it with a hammer.
It was too much. Oh.
It's really powerful stuff, isn't it?
Well, Andrea. I'm crying because it's so wonderful seeing you again, and it's been so long. I was gonna ask, has Shukador, has he tried this? I mean, maybe we should give him some.
Oh no, he hasn't tried it yet. You were the first person to try it.
Oh, good. Well, maybe. I don't want to keep it from him. Before we start our training, maybe
just let me.
Wine.
Okay, well, maybe we'll just set that aside for now. I want to make sure that I got the formula right before I give it to Shukador. Like it's too important to get it just right.
That's
when
true.
It's time to go live. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're a little bit of my test subject.
Well, I'm honored.
Can you let me know? Because the merchant told me that it can have some side effects later on.
Oh.
When you're
no. What
yeah,
side
yeah.
effects?
Like
Anything I should look out for?
when you're on the loo.
Uh-oh. Have we started the training already? Is this...
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, all right. How do I treat anything that goes wrong?
I'm always training you, Foodle.
Oh. Why'd you say it like that?
Say it like what?
Oh, I don't know. I guess let me... Foodle sort of wipes some tears from his eye. It must just be the tea. Maybe some side effects already.
Maybe. Anyway, let me know if you feel anything,
Right.
coming out.
Right.
But yeah, let's begin.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. So she brings you behind the counter, and she takes a strip of cloth, and she ties it around your eyes, blocking all vision. All right, Foodle. I am going to open 5 of the signature tea blends that we have been working on, and I want you to tell me which is which without looking, just by smell.
Is one of them the ones that I just had?
No, you silly
Okay.
noodle.
I was just thinking, I will know that one. That one's kind of a gimme at this point.
All right.
Yeah, really. This is lesson 3. This is the advanced
that's the
mode.
test. That's
Yeah.
the test.
Yeah.
That's the test. Now the blend that you just tried may have disrupted some of your sense of smell and taste,
Oh.
and perhaps even hearing. Can you hear me right now? Can you hear me right now?
Yes. So yeah. No, the hearing seems okay. The vision.
Okay.
It's not great.
Oh no, that's because you have a cloth over your eyes, you silly goose.
Oh, right. Yes, of course.
No. The merchant just told me that if you eat some of the chili, it may cause like a little bit of a ringing in your ears for between an hour and 16 days. But anyway, the point of that is though that the blend that you just tried may have fried your palate a little bit, just momentarily. But even under the most dire situations, a true herbalist needs to know a dogwood from a dandelion merely by smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got this.
All right, you special noodle, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here's the first one. And I don't have
You don't have a mini game for this?
I don't have a mini game for this, no.
Okay,
So
well,
yeah.
I could pass it off.
So if you do an if you do a perception roll followed by an intelligence roll.
Okay. All right. So perception.
So yeah.
Okay. 12 plus 13. That's a 25.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Look, he's good at a few things and really bad at a lot of others. Like this intelligence roll we're about to have.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. That is a 15 plus nothing.
Okay. Yeah, it's enough. You you find that despite the number that Andrea's death tea did on your sense of taste and smell, you find that you are able to pick out distinct aromas out of each tea blend and sort of like separate it out into its constituent parts. The real challenge is remembering what each of those constituent parts are, and identifying them and telling them back to Andrea. But overall, you pass. Well done.
I knew I could do it, and it's all thanks to you, Andrea.
Well, a great teacher is only as good as her worst student. And you're the only student I've ever had, so you're both the best and the worst.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
But for the best student, you're pretty good, and for the worst student, you're fantastic.
Ooh.
So I am going to bestow upon you the greatest honor of the august and noble and historical order of herbalists. And she opens her drawer and takes out a little lockbox and pulls a key that she has hanging from her neck and puts it in the lockbox, turns the key, opens it. And it's like the JonTron, like this golden light just washes over her face, like that JonTron meme. When somebody opens it, was that JonTron? I don't remember. But open, she opens the box and a gold light washes over her face. And she pulls something out of the box. And with two hands, she solemnly sticks it onto your vest. And you look down and you see a little dollar store gold star.
I'm adding that to my inventory. Oh, this is amazing!
Hold on, there's one more. And then she pulls out another sticker and puts it on right underneath, and it says, "Good job."
Oh, I did it! Well, we did it! We did it!
We did it! And Andrea sweeps you up in her arms and hugs you.
Oh my god, it is.
It's like a kindergarten graduation.
Well, Foodle will stay and celebrate with Andrea and Shukador. There is one other thing that I want to do that I think should just... I mean, it's up to you guys, but I think it'll just be me saying it. I think Foodle needs to pick up, like, some ammo and nets and, just stuff that...
Okay.
Because now that he's back in town, like, stuff that he's gone through, so he'll do some, like, a little bit of shopping. So I'm gonna start subtracting this gold. But let me know, Ghost, because I'm using the that thing, the shop catalog. Let me know if I was gonna do normal prices, but let me know if it's like one of the other one of the other ones anyway. Because there's like a more expensive one if stuff is scarce.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nope.
But yeah.
No, it's normal prices.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for Foodle.
Excellent. And you get your proficiency in herbalism.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, cool.
Was it like herbalist kit tool proficiency? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's
We've
so
been working
cool.
on this for a while.
Yeah.
I know, right? It's
Ooh.
dope. All right, cool. Thanks, Ghost.
It's good because we can make healing potions now.
Yeah. That was
and one of the things
We used to have gold drill, and now we miss that.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a long time, ever since Goldrill left, and I think it makes so much sense for Foodle, right? And Ghost, there's kind of a cool system that Pug and I have been using. I know I've mentioned it to you, but I'll shoot it to you, and you can take a look at it. Where it opens up more potions that can be crafted and stuff like that. Anyway, so, yeah.
Is that like the Grim Hollow?
Oh no, it's not. But we should take a look
part
at that.
stuff.
I know it's not.
So I was thinking of doing something with that.
Let's do that. I mean, yeah. I'll shoot you.
Send me what you have. But anyway,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's sort of we can make healing potions. Maybe Foodle can dabble in other stuff. We'll see. Anyway.
All right.
Love it. I think that's a fantastic idea.
So Kiona and Mazra, what do you want to do with your downtime?
Go if you want.
Okay. Kiona actually will sit down with Foodle and Mazra first. Because she's been mulling over in her head that it would be better if they had access to Angevine House on some way, shape, or form in case they need access to the egg or any other reason to be there. And so she's going to discuss with them the potential for putting a portal or a teleport there, because it's going to cost money over time. And, well, I think it'd be like, it's like 10 gold. It'll be 10 gold a day for a year, you guys. It's a lot. But I think we could get Eladir to cast the spell at the house, and then we could use maybe Underlore's teleport pad to get back and forth.
Whoa.
It might be worth it.
Yeah. He has one of those?
I think he does.
That's amazing.
There's a lot inside that tin of his.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more that we haven't seen yet either.
Right. Well,
But
yeah,
at any rate,
I mean, well, hold on. So you said 10 gold a day for a year? How much gold is that? I didn't do great in math.
she looks at Mazra.
3.
I
mean,
do
I
the
know.
math, but
I
yeah,
know.
I was
Poodle
gonna
doesn't
say.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, what does I don't know.
Do we have standard
It's
years
3,000.
in D&D?
It's like
Oh, is it more than
3,000?
that?
I
Oh,
think it's
God.
3,500 gold at the end of the day, or 3,600 gold at the end of the day.
It's 50?
It's
Is
50
it?
gold
Is
per
it
day.
50 gold a day?
Yeah.
I thought it was 10. What did I read?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's more than I thought it was. Shit.
I would consider we should look at our finances and figure out how much it will take out of our profits from the tavern. I do see the
Right.
practicality in it. I would suggest, even if you use Underlore Circle, that you make sure that we're the only ones who can use the teleportation, because I don't want him in our house.
Right. Well, I mean, he wouldn't have to know because it's like a sequence of sigils or something, and then you gotta. Kiona like has barely looked at it in a spell book somewhere, so she's not maybe 100% on how to do it.
Right, right. Sigils. You need those sigils.
So yeah. But she was thinking, well, okay, yeah, we should think about how to budget it, but maybe I could go to Underlore and see if there's anything he could offer. Because, I mean, he's kind of our patron leader guy, right? Isn't he supposed to be helping us out, too?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's helping us specifically, but I know he's helping the caravan. You know, I think
Right, but
he's-
helping us is helping the caravan, right?
Well, yeah, I think so. I just don't.
I
know.
mean,
we might have to convince him of that.
Kyona's
but
very
I mean, I
dubious
think so.
reasoning.
we tried to convince him of that. We wanted him to give us stuff, and he said no.
Right.
Well,
Maybe this will be different, though.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Could come down to the safety of this whole freaking place, I guess, so could bring it up.
I'm not opposed.
Really want to talk to him about that stuff too much, though.
Right.
Well, why don't you tell me what we need, and I will work on a budget.
Alright, I'll go and see Underlord, see what I can get out of him, and then we'll see what we can do.
Yona, before you go, not that it necessarily matters, Foodle pulls out of his backpack a small leather pouch, and he opens it up, and he shows it to Kiona, and inside are like some dried herbs and spices. And Foodle says, you remember when we were looking for that special, he sort of looks around, that special object in the vineyard place where we couldn't teleport out, and it was all bit of a
Oh,
disaster,
yeah.
but it ended up, we made it in the end thanks to my family and stuff.
Right.
I found these while we were there, and I've had what's her name? The lady back in the you want her to cast a bunch of
Eladir.
Eladir. I had
Oh, okay.
Eladir take a look at them. She said apparently these can be used for like a spell component.
Oh.
And I don't cast many spells. I don't cast any spells that have components. So like I think you might be able to use these.
Well, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can put those in my thing. What? Do you know what spells those would be for?
So what Ghost told me was must be used up all at once, and
Okay.
it's basically you can it can count as up to 50 gold of any plant-based spell components. So
Okay.
like, if there's plant components that are consumed that have a cost, like this can contribute to it or just replace it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like that.
I hope it comes in handy.
Sure. I bet it will. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. All right, I've deleted it. Have I? I don't know. It won't delete. Oh, it's gone. Okay. Okay. Well, good luck. Be
Thank
careful
you.
with Underlord. I don't really know why, but yeah, he gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not so thrilled with him either, but I mean, we kind of put him there, so we're kind of stuck with him.
Yeah.
Just deal with him when I can, and then we'll don't deal with him the rest of the time.
Yeah. We kind of leave each other alone.
And then she'll, kisses and hugs all around, and then head out to Underlore's tent.
All right. And as always, Unchalor's tent is just this little hut tent that looks like it could fit, 2 human-sized sleepers comfortably, 3 uncomfortably, so not that big, guarded by 2 glaive-wielding sentries who recognize you on approach with their kind of cold and still eyes.
Right back at you.
You're never quite sure what's up with these sentries. Like, they never seem to take breaks. They don't really interact with anybody else in town. They're just standing guard, doing their job. And so they recognize you as always, sort of uncross their glaives in a silent invitation for you to enter. And as you pull aside the tent flap, you once again find yourself in the courtyard garden of the Unbroken Circle's villa that exists in some sort of extraplanar space within that tent. Surrounded by marble columns, you hear the babbling of little water features, little mini waterfalls and water gardens around, the squawks of exotic birds, the warbles of exotic amphibians down by their little artificial ponds. All around you, the gray-robed mages and acolytes of the Unbroken Circle are on their sort of scribing tables. It says scrying tables. That's not right. That's a spell. But they're little portable scribing tables, writing down little bits of and copying little bits of arcane knowledge and lore that they've been studying. One of those young acolytes who you recognize from one or two of your visits here sort of comes up to you with his hands in his sleeves and, Miss Neely, welcome. It's been a while since your last visit.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Yes, I've heard. Master Angelo has been following your progress very closely, as you know.
No doubt. I'm here to talk with him, actually. Is he busy right now?
Always, but I'm sure never too busy to take a few moments to speak with you. Right this way, please.
Indeed. She has,
And-
despite the apparent beauty of this place, because it would be beautiful, right? You'd walk into a tent and there would be this amazing, elaborate garden there with students and stuff. But she is uncomfortable there every single time because of all of those students. And so yeah, Kiona's never unhappy to leave the garden every time.
Mm. And so if the attendant notices or picks up on your apprehension, he doesn't give any indication. He leads you through the gardens, and ultimately into Underlore's private study, where he knocks gently on the heavy wooden doors. And as if of their own volition, the doors just sort of creak open and swing inward. And you see down the length of a vast personal library, certainly nowhere near as vast as the archival tower that you found Elodie in. Pardon me, I have a sneeze that doesn't want to come out.
That's the worst.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Ordskara driving up your nose and into your brain, but yeah, Undrelor certainly has a very expansive collection of his own here, and you see him kind of on an upraised floor, with a little 5-step staircase leading up to this sort of upraised portion of the floor, where he sits behind a desk, and behind him is this massive sort of bumped out sort of picture window, and behind, on the other side of that window is just this endless blue sky with puffy white clouds and gigantic birds and other strange creatures sort of flying through it. And you have a moment where you think, like, the architecture of this place, like the layout of this place, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
For that to be there. Seated at the desk is Undrelor, the bald dwarf with his close-shaven head and close-shaven beard. Unlike the rest, or unlike his typical kin, not letting it all grow wild. Always very much tightly buttoned up and in control. And he sort of, without looking up from what he's writing on, sort of waves you forward.
She will walk forward. Hello, Underlore. And sit down.
And he sort of finishes the last line of whatever he was writing and puts the quill back in its holder, and then finally regards you after just a moment. Yes, good day, Kiona. Welcome back. What can I
Thanks.
do for you today?
Well, figured I'd come and check in, first of all. It's been a while. Been up to
It has. Yes, you have. Some very interesting experiences you've had.
Right. Yeah, there have been some. But, you know, we're getting through it and we're figuring it out. I think, you know, getting to this elven city is maybe gonna help us find some more information about what we need to do in the end about it.
Well, I'm sure that elves have many, many things that they could tell us, but I would not get your hope up. They are frustratingly taciturn and reticent people.
Well, I guess we'll see, huh? But at any rate, the further we get from Angevine House, the more and more I start to worry we're gonna need to get back there for some reason. In a hurry at some point. I've been thinking...
Well, this is certainly possible.
Right. Do you have one of them teleportation circles here?
Yeah, of course.
I thought maybe you did. Well, you know, I've been thinking that maybe we could get Eladir to help us out by casting a circle at Angevine House for us.
Eladir. Oh, the library girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I was wondering if there was any way you could help us with that. It's a really heavy cost, and you know, it's a lot for us.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you have resources.
Yes, the Unbroken Circle has resources for the advancement of the Unbroken Circle.
Mm-hmm.
These sorts of things are best viewed as an investment. And now, the investments we have made is in this expedition. You've certainly brought back much valuable lore and ancient artifacts and the like for us to study, but that is your sides of the agreement in the first place.
Well, the circle would help us to advance that too. We have one or two
how
things.
so?
Well, we have at least one thing that we're keeping safe at Angevine House, but I feel like we may need access to it real soon.
Yeah, what's that? Come now, Kiona. Come to me asking for help with a permanent teleportation circle. Do you know how much that costs?
I have some idea.
18,250 gold pieces.
That's maybe more than I had anticipated, if I'm honest.
And now you come to me asking for this favor, for support in this, and I know you were not asking the Unbroken Circle to front all of the cost for this, but you nonetheless withhold secrets. We do have a certain reserve of gold to invest in further ventures, but I'm not entirely clear what this further venture is. If you could explain it to me.
Well, I think maybe I should talk to Foodle and Mazra about that first.
Yeah. come to me with a concrete proposal of what exactly the Unbroken Circle are investing in, and we will consider whether to make this investment.
Will, I appreciate that. I honestly didn't think you'd do anything, so it was just kind of a stretch.
We are all about mutual benefit here.
Will be mutually
I know
beneficial.
that the world of mage circles can sometimes be rather cold-hearted and cutthroat and hyper-rational, but
You don't say.
if you are... He just gives you like a little bit of a knowing smile. But you, although you are a mage of a rather different kind than the more scholarly among us here, you are more and more being drawn into that world yourself. And if you're going to thrive in that environment, you must learn to use cold and calculating rationality to your advantage. Now, Kiona, I did tell you that we were all about mutual benefit here. And I feel in some ways our relationship, yours and ours, has been somewhat one-sided. And to demonstrate my goodwill, I would like to show you something of a return on an investment that you made in the past.
Okay.
Yes, why don't you come with me?
Sure.
And he leads you back out of... I'm going to ignore what Megan just said in the chat.
True.
You know,
It's
man.
true though.
It's like the mullet, arcane spellcaster mullet. Wizards are business in the front, and sorcerers are party in the back. No. So Andriller leads you deeper into the compound. As you're turning to leave his office, you swear that you see like a massive shadow pass over the window. And you hear through the glass as you leave just this like... Undrelor doesn't seem to pay it any mind. Yeah, come on now.
Okay. Okay.
Leads you out deeper into the compound, back to a familiar statue of the storm giant hero that is sort of mythically the legendary, one of the last of Eldrigo's storm giants and the legendary founder of the Unbroken Circle of Mages, who taught the very first members of the Unbroken Circle their arcane magic. He speaks the command word. The statue splits vertically down the middle and once again sort of just opens up, opening up to a staircase that plunges down into the darkness. You've been here before. You've been down those stairs before. Didn't hurt too bad that time. And he leads you down into the same chamber that he brought you to last time. This time, there is in the center of the room a little upraised altar with a single rolled up scroll laying on top of it. Now, your brand of magic, if you will, your flavor of it, is rather different from any that we in the Unbroken Circle have ever encountered. But in our research of the mutated goblins, the Winds of Chaos, and your own wild magic abilities, we have actually learned much. And we may have found a way to harness your chaotic arcane energies into something of a spell. Now, of course, you learn your magic differently than the rest of us, through instinct and some internal font of powers that we are not able to understand or comprehend as of yet. However, perhaps close study of this may provide some assistance in broadening your own capabilities.
All right. What does it do? She's going to slowly approach the scroll.
Well, the results are... please, come to the scrying school. The scrying pool over here, and there's a little bit of a audio-visual recording of a test.
Oh. Oh, she'll go and she'll
Yeah,
look.
we had. Yeah. And he started. So you go to the corner of the room, and there's it's like a bird bath, right? There's like a upraised little pool, this broad basin of very, very still water. The Undulor whispers a command word, and he kind of just pokes his finger into the center of the pool, and the ripples kind of move out to the sides and then back into the middle. And as the surface of the water sort of warbles, yours and Undulor's reflection kind of blurs and morphs and recoalesces as a vision of other people and other events in the same room. And you see a young acolyte kind of reading over this scroll that Undulor gave you, and he's kind of like muttering under his breath in a language that that you don't understand and you don't recognize. And yet, while he's reading this, it's almost like there's another voice in the back of your head, like kind of whispering meaning, not words, but meaning into your mind. Another voice who is outside of visual frame says, "You think you got it?" Yeah, I think I could do it. Yeah. Shall we give it a try? All right. I think this is working. Okay. All right. Acolyte. Finnegan McAngus. Attempt number 4. It's only attempt number 3. No. It's attempt number 4. The first attempt, you don't remember. Remember? I think I would remember that. No. You were not clear on your ass, and you it was 3 days before you remembered your mother's name. What? I remember my mother's name. It's Susan. No, that's not right. Anyway, attempt number 3. I swear it. and he pulls out the scroll and he reads through it again. And as he's making his way through the incantation, his voice starts to boom a little bit. The room kind of shakes, little like motes of dust rain down from the ceiling. And at the crescendo of his incantation, he holds out a hand, and a massive burst of kaleidoscopic light, every color of the rainbow, shoots out in a wide fan across the room, throwing poor Finnegan McAngus back against the wall with the force of the energy unleashed from his hand. And let's see.
Oh, well, ain't that something?
Just watch. And as Finnegan is like shooting this cone of rainbow light everywhere, he grips his hand with the other and he's like, I can't stop it. What is it? It's like a fire hose that somebody's just let go of and it's just spraying anywhere, and you hear the acolyte recording say, "No, Finn, get that away from me!" And you see the burst of kaleidoscopic light just hit the camera, for lack of a better word, and I need to roll a d8. What happens?
Oh no! Oh, this poor kid.
Yeah. And the rainbow light suddenly sort of blue shifts and turns blue. And the scrying pool just sort of fades away back to your reflection. And Undrelor raises his hand and snaps his fingers, and the wall behind the scrying pool sort of like disappears as an illusion drops, and you see an acolyte frozen solid like a popsicle, just standing like.
Oh my.
We've had our best healer looking after him. He assures us he is alive and will make a moderate to full recovery.
Oh. Well, that's good, I guess. Maybe you should just call me in next time you have something like this to try to test, because I feel like maybe some of your students shouldn't have to go through the things that they do on behalf of this magic.
First of all, in the pursuit of power, the most emphatic students are not forced to go through anything. I assure you, this young man has been through many things much worse than this.
That's...
As for young Finnegan McAngus, he's been asleep since the last test. The healer says that he will also make a full recovery.
Okay.
What we found is that our members' particular method of accessing magic is not entirely compatible with your abilities. And for that reason, if you are sure about your offer, we might take you up on that. I am certain that if you test this spell yourself, the results would be quite a bit different. and perhaps much more focused and in control.
Did seem to understand something of it when he was casting it in the first place. She'll
Excellent. Very good.
pick up the spell and take a look at it.
Yeah. That scroll is yours. There is a second copy in our most secure archival storage. But you may take that with you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll be back again. Probably. Maybe. Potentially. We'll see. With an offer about this circle.
Yes. I eagerly await your return.
And please, I think I'd rather be the test subject for these ones. She looks at the poor
Very
frozen
well.
kid. Like, oh, God. What is he doing to these other kids? He's bad enough to me. Right. Right. So just let me know if you find something interesting again. And thanks.
Thank you. Let me know how that spell works out for you.
I will. She will turn around and check out.
And Underlord turns to the frozen acolyte and sort of reaches out and pats him on the shoulder and says, "Hang in there. Zahira says you will be out of there in a couple more days." And the acolyte's just like, uh-huh.
Oh God.
All right.
Yeah, so she'll go back. She'll read through the spell scroll a couple times on her way out of Underlord's place. She'll tuck it away before she leaves the tent. And then meet back up with Mazra and Foodle and put forth his offer to them, essentially. Like, he wants information.
Maybe we can come back to that another time.
Absolutely.
Just in the interest of moving
I just
things along.
wanted to
And
put
you
it out
guys
there
can-
that she
yeah.
would do that. Because that's yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
And after a day of studying that spell scroll, you would learn the spell Prismatic Spray.
Oh, you guys.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna fuck some shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, it is the choice. It is a choice I made. It took a lot of hemming and hawing, you guys. Don't hit your allies with it. Yeah.
True.
Does say every creature.
It does. I am aware of that, but I also have abilities to help with that. So
Yes.
Mazza, you're up. What are you doing with your time?
So I think you said there were some traveling merchants and things.
Yeah.
She's going to speak with them to try and gather information about, well, maybe them too, but maybe also go to the library, but she wants information on the Elven kingdoms before they get there.
Yeah, so the merchants set up their stalls in the market whenever the caravan stops for evening meal time. The caravan sort of stops traveling and sets up this little pop-up town / camp for the night around the time of the evening meal. And so there's usually like after a day's travel, there's usually like a market, and then everybody's sort of dinner time and then nighttime, whatever, before everyone tucks in for sleep. And usually the traveling merchants that will sort of come and join the caravan sort of set up shop at the market. So when you go to the market, thought I had. Oh, I didn't have a market sound open because I tested it with Flutter and it was really poppy. So we'll just use that. There you go. So at the market, you find all sorts of merchants hawking their wares. It doesn't take you long to find the merchants who are traveling to and fro and have just joined on the caravan, because they're not people that you recognize, and by now you recognize pretty much everybody in your caravan. You see merchants of all kinds from all different lands, some wearing sort of Cormantian garb, some wearing sort of the more eclectic clothing that is common of people from the Rift. You know that there were a couple of merchants that came from the Luxari hegemony, but there aren't many. Probably like one or two on the odd day.
Yeah, so she'll probably, as she goes around, kind of question people to see where they've been as she browses. So that's kind of how she'll probably narrow down, because she's looking for people that have been there recently. Yeah. So
roll me a persuasion, just as a means of like, how able are you to sift out information from people. Okay, 19. Wow. You have a plus 13 to your persuasion? Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's expertise. Expertise, baby.
Once again, I wonder why Foodle does all the talking in the party.
Because Foodle is actually nice.
Right. Yeah. So you do find a few merchants, you are pointed to a few merchants who visited the hegemony, the Elven lands, in the course of the past couple years, but none of them have been there recently. So you're not sure about getting up-to-date information from them, but you can learn something. You know, they've been, you know, there are a couple of visiting merchants who have made multiple trips to the Elven homeland throughout their careers.
Okay.
One in particular that you're pointed to is a dwarven merchant named Hulgrin. And so then you're pointed towards Hulgrin's stall, which is basically Hulgrin is a tailor. He sells clothes, mass-produced clothing from the large cities, which he then offers a service to tailor down to fit people's particular shapes and sizes.
Yeah, so she'll try her best not to loom. And probably isn't the type to pretend that she's browsing.
So are you just like walking straight up to him, kind of thing?
Yeah. Mhm.
Can I help you?
Looking for information.
As it happens, I do not sell information. I sell clothes, as you can see.
Well, I mean, if you'd rather not be paid, that can be arranged.
What kind of information are you offering to pay for?
Just general information about the hegemony. Anything you've heard in your travels, if you've been there recently.
So the elves?
Yeah. Things
Well-
about how things are there, how things are run.
Yeah, I've made the run between Zwergenheim and the Luxari hegemony 3 times in my life. It's a long journey. The elven clothing is, of course, highly sought after in the Rift and in Zwergenheim. I'm afraid the dwarven and human fashion is not equally as popular among the elves. But I managed to find a few goods that the elves are interested in. So yes, I know a few things about Luxari. Not lately. They've largely closed their borders to outsiders over the past few months. But what would you like to know?
You know why they've closed their borders?
Some people talk about fear of an impending conflict. I heard something happened in the capital of Comatia that has many of the elves spooked.
I made up something about that.
Oh yeah?
Yes, there was a likely an attempt to frame the high priest and kidnap one of the super guard.
Super, I'm afraid I'm not familiar
I believe the normal
with the
term
super god.
is one of the Zeravian protectors.
The Knights Radiant.
Yes, them.
How
Yes.
do you not know their names? They're famous. Are you living under a rock?
I have other things on my mind.
All right.
Anyway, there was a fire in the tower, and some of them went missing.
Yes, that'll do it. The elves are prickly folk. That's the best of time. So it doesn't take much to send them off the edge.
Imagine they're even worse in their own home.
I've not found this too much. They certainly do like to keep to themselves and value their own kind above others, but my dealings with most of them have been polite, if nothing else.
I can be polite.
I can see that.
She looks thoughtful for a moment. The wheels are spinning.
What's your passive insight? What's like
Probably
10,
not very good.
10 plus. What is 10 plus your insight bonus?
I think it's 9 because she gets a -1.
This is a -1. All right. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to know about them?
Can you tell me anything about their governmental structure?
Yeah, it's quite a bit different, actually, than anything in the other realms of Gontara that we're accustomed to. It isn't exactly a united realm like Comantia or Zwergenheim, but the word they use is a what's the word in common? Confederation.
Yes.
Yeah, of city-states. The holy city of Luxari is something of the leader of the city-states rather than the capital of a central government as such. It's these elves, they tend to be very free-spirited and independent, and so they rarely organize into communities much larger than towns or cities. So asking them to organize themselves into a united realm is a bit of a step too far for many of them. All of the cities in the hegemony have their own government systems. Some of them are ruled by kings, some by a council of elected representatives of the citizens. Some are governed by an oligarchy or a council of elders. Of course, Luxare is a theocracy. It is governed by the Temple of Light itself. There are one or two other cities that are also religiously governed. It's quite a place to behold, actually. The elves are quite different from dwarves, gnomes, humans, or orcs. They are artists and performers and storytellers as a core. You would be very impressed, I think, to see the buzz of artistic and cultural fervor in their temples and plazas and open-air forums. Quite a sight to behold. Now, for merchants such as myself, who is always thinking about money, and craftsmen like yourself, as I can see from the calluses on your, well, good hand. This may seem a little bit strange for them to be so flighty and impractical in their way, but I don't know, I have a soft spot. I've come to rather enjoy my time in Zwergenheim, not Zwergenheim, that's where I'm from, in the hegemony. And it's a shame that the borders are closed.
Well, we're likely going to be trying to enter.
Oh, are you?
We have business.
Do you have any elven friends who can help you in?
We do, but that's, he's currently missing.
Well, doesn't help you much, does it?
No.
Yeah. I'm afraid I've unsuccessfully tried to enter. Shall I say, they have a very short list of honored guests of non-elven origin.
We may have some business that might grant us access.
Well, I hope you do.
Hmm. Any other interesting tidbits you can share?
Hold on, let me check my notes. I'm afraid I do not.
Hmm.
After a thorough check of my notes of what Hulgren would know. But I wish you the best of luck on your business.
And if he does not push the topic of coin, she's willing to pay if he asks, but
Consider that information free. But if you really must, I would take payment in form of your patronage.
you will take him up on that. And so does he have like, so is it, he said it's mostly elven stuff that he has, or is it more like just anything?
No, not now. Not
Okay,
now,
so it's like-
because he hasn't been able to get in. So it's like stuff that is there's stuff from the Rift, mostly stuff from the Rift. So that sort of Rifter style of basically like steampunkish stuff, except that, he doesn't have like goggles or whatever, right? But like the basic clothes that go
Do they
with all
have-
those accoutrements.
Since we know that what steampunk looks like, do they have those little, what do they call it? Like the little like corset thingies or whatever?
Sure.
She's gonna buy one for Kiona. That matches, if there's like a color, like she knows, well, Kiona's blue right now, so
Yeah, she's like a purple tiefling.
Purple- is she
but
purple?
she always
Is she
wears
pur-
like brown and light blue. You know her colors.
okay, yeah, Mazra knows what she's wearing, what she wears, so she'll find something. And what she's doing is she's standing there, because I think Mazra has a different build than Kiona, so she'll like kind of clearly this is not for her.
You would find that quite tight on you.
Yeah, oh no,
if I
this
may say
isn't
so.
for me. I don't wear this kind of thing.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. And then what she's also good at, does he have hats? just
Yes, he
clothes.
does have a smaller selection of hats, mainly clothes, but he does have a few hats.
She wants, if he has one, she wants to find like a little dapper gnome hat for Foodle.
Okay.
Oh!
All right. Now, is it like what style of hat is it? Is it like a top hat? Is it like a paperboy hat?
I'm trying to think of what he wears. Something to go with his like fancy jacket or whatever.
What about one of those like
Okay.
little jaunty like golfer-ish?
Oh yeah, like the little whatever.
yeah.
Or,
Oh,
or
that's
should
perfect.
yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Little beret looking thing.
I would part with those for one gold piece. This for each one that comes with a single alteration session, as may be needed.
Very well. That seems fair. She believes in
So you
paying
pay-
people.
So you pay your gold piece, and you can get them. We don't need to RP it out or whatever, but you can get them resized and come back.
She figures she'll. Yeah, that's what I figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. As you are leaving the market, the sun is starting to go down a little bit. The sky is starting to get like a bit orange. I would like you to roll a perception.
Oh no. Okay. Oh, that's actually not
dang.
terrible. Okay.
That is an 18 for anyone who's wondering. An 18, which is pretty good when your modifier is -1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mazda, you get the impression as you're leaving the market that you're being followed.
If she kind of stealthily looks around, can she tell who or what may be following her?
You just get like sort of brief glimpses out the corner of your eye. It's not like they're like ninja shadows darting to and fro, right? It's more like people are kind of, you know, there's a couple people who are a little bit suspiciously happen to be moving in the same direction as you, and every time you kind of stop to look back, they're turned around and they're looking, like their face is pointed away from you, and they're looking at like the wares on a stall and browsing and things like that. And then when you start walking again, they start following you again. And with your roll of 18, actually, as you go, at first you have 2 tails, and then a third, and then a fourth. And once you round a corner into sort of a quieter, less trafficked area, in between a couple of wagons, 3 more figures step out into the path in front of you. The one in the middle is a half-elven woman whom you recognize, but you haven't seen her in months. Caradwyn of the Bastard Brand, standing with her arms folded over her chest, and you see the familiar telltale red armband, sort of the ribbon tied around her arm that signifies her loyalty with the Skulden gang. Well, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've been sent to retrieve you. Why don't you come quietly with us?
Why should I?
Believe me, it's not my idea. But I have been given my orders.
Who wants to speak to me?
You'll find out, won't you?
Fine.
All right. Hurry up and come along. She kind of jerks her chin at the people behind you. We won't be needing you. She won't put up a fight. Come along. And she turns around and leads you away from the market and towards the Skulden quarter of the caravan. And now, as you know, the Bastard Brand, the Bastard Brand is sort of the militant arm of the Skulden, this sort of culture of true breeding half elves. They generally don't travel. They travel with the caravan, but they're kind of like hangers-on of the caravan. They sort of keep to themselves. They do odd jobs, but they always keep the rest of the community kind of at arm's length. And frankly, the community also kind of keeps them at arm's length. There's a lot of bad blood between the survivors that came from the city-state of Haltern, who joined your caravan, and the half-elves, the Skulden, who mostly came from that city. And so their wagons are sort of encircled on another little on the crest of another little hill nearby, just on the edge of the rest of the caravan community. And Caradwin leads you in to this group, and you see a few Skulden families kind of regard you with a little bit of a detached curiosity, some with a little bit of suspicion, but most kind of just like, you're a different face around here, and they're curious about what you're doing here, what Mazra Greenstone is doing here. Because of course your reputation and the reputation of your companions precedes you. Caradwin leads you to a wagon in the center of their circle. This wagon being no different from the others, except for a symbol that adorns the door at the back, which of course that door is shut right now. You've never seen that symbol before, except for right here, and you've seen some Elven script, but this is sort of a character or a bit of calligraphy that is unfamiliar to you. Caradwin walks up to the wagon and sort of pounds on the door 3 times, then steps back. The door opens, and a matronly Skulden woman locks eyes with you. Come in, won't you? He's just finishing up story time. Please, come in.
All right.
Okay. And you walk in, and the carriage inside is very dimly lit, only by a few candles. On the side of the little one-room living space that you are in, you see about 1.5 dozen small half-elven children sitting cross-legged, some kneeling, some whispering in each other's ears or playing little games when nobody's looking. A couple of them are out cold asleep. One of them's picking her nose and then eating the treasures she digs out of it.
Good protein there.
They're all facing a curtain, a white curtain that's extended across the entire width of the wagon. On the other side of that curtain, you can make out a silhouetted form sitting upright and very still. And you hear a voice speak out from the other side of that curtain. And that, boys and girls, is why you never go to the riverside alone. Do we understand? And all the small children say, "Yes, Grandpa." Very good. Now it's time for you all to go back to your parents. Wash up before bed. Good night. Good night, Grandpa. And they all kind of file out and leave, and The girl who is picking her nose is still picking her nose, and she looks up you and goes, "You're green," and then leaves. Masra Greenstone.
Yes.
Come. Sit down. Let me get a better look at you. Make yourself comfortable.
She will find a seat. Does this wagon have windows?
No.
Okay.
I hear you have been asking questions about the elven homeland.
Yes. We're headed in that direction.
I am aware. I'm aware of everything that happens in this caravan. I'm also aware of your adventures. I'm quite impressed with how far you and your companions have come.
You've managed to survive this long.
It will be no easy task to get inside the Lusari hegemony. So I have an offer for you.
I'm listening.
My people will grant you entry. But I require you to convey me to the capital, Luxare.
Convey you how?
The silhouette does not move with this laughter. In my carriage, of course. You will be my security detail.
What business do you have in the capital?
Oh, my business is my own. I assure you, it is entirely above board. There are just certain individuals in Luxare that would rather I do not conduct that business.
Above board can have a lot of meanings. Do you intend to hurt anyone innocent?
No. I intend to hurt no one. I am merely fulfilling my duty.
Which is, I assume, also your business.
It is. Agree to my terms and I will allow you to witness as I conduct my business. It is a rare honor for non-elves to witness such an event.
I am not opposed. However, I do think that I need to speak with my companions if they are going to be assisting before I agree to anything.
Please do. I am not able to tell you everything yet. Honor binds me to silence in this matter. But you will see at the end of the road. Rest assured, we have the same goal here. I have no intention of harming, betraying anybody. But there are people in Luxari who need to hear what I have to say. And believe me when I say, you will want them to hear it.
Fair enough.
I understand your doubts. My grandchildren are not the easiest to get along with. Caradwin in particular, I'm sure you have found can be somewhat disagreeable.
I'm not unsympathetic, but yes.
She will obey my commands. And my command is for her and her followers to do everything and use all the resources at their disposal to help you accomplish this task. It is of the utmost urgency.
Very well. As I said, let me speak to my companions and what would be the best way to get word back to you.
Any member of the brand simply tell them to tell the old grandpa yes or no.
Very well.
One last thing. Tell none of them what we have said here today. This is entirely between the two of us and your companions. Not even Caradwin.
As you wish.
Bon. You may go now. That is all I have to say.
Can she do, like, I know she can't spend a lot of time, but can she, like, do a quick sweep, like, just looking as she walks out? Like, does she notice anything weird about this place, or, like...
It is very Spartanly and simply adorned. There is sort of this heady odor of incense inside the carriage, but through the cloud of incense, they've got like at least 6 incense burners on the go in here. You can smell something else, something that's like a little bit like sweet in the air through the incense. There's very little in the way of decorations. A couple traditional sort of elven pieces of art and like talismans, things like that on the wall. You know, a bit of the common this and that to keep evil spirits away and whatnot. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, she won't linger. She'll head out. And then,
Pleasant evening to you.
And you, grandfather.
Oh, you don't need to. Right?
Okay, then
When you
she'll
step
head back
out-
to, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you step out of the wagon, Caradwyn is there waiting for you, and she falls into step beside you. And normally she's very gruff towards you, and she continues to be gruff towards you, but there's a little bit of a different energy here as she walks alongside you for a bit. And she, what did he say? What did he tell you?
You just had some questions.
Yeah. Such as?
None of your business.
He told you to tell me that, didn't he?
Maybe.
Kaliste tabernacle, old man. Alright. Keep it to yourself then. Be seeing you. And she turns away and storms off.
She'll head back over and make her way back to find Foodle and Kiona. I assume we'll have like a little meetup at some point. So
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm thoroughly enjoying Ghost's character
yeah.
actions
Right?
this
This is so
evening.
good.
Way too much.
Delightful.
Holy crap.
There's so much tonight. There's so much tonight.
Yeah.
I'm working
Yeah, I was about
overtime
to
here.
say. Holy.
She just like, I assume the guy maybe wrapped it in some paper or something, the little things or whatever. So the
Oh
stuff she bought,
yeah. Like you
She'll
got you
just-
got like a little bag or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's just like,
Wow.
For us? Mazra.
Oh, Mazra, I love it. It even
Well,
matches
this
my pocket square.
Beautiful, Mazra. I should go put this on right now.
well, before you do that, I was doing some reconnaissance. No, that's not the right word. Research on our destination. I was approached by the Bastard Brand, and there's some old being who is in charge of them, I suppose, named Grandpa. And
Oh, that's so
Uh,
cute.
I don't know about I didn't get to see him. He's behind a curtain.
Oh. Ooh.
And he kind of sounds like
Oh.
so he offered to get us into. Apparently the borders have been closed because of everything that's been going on. He offered to get us in if we escort him to the capital.
Why would he need an escort?
I don't think he can travel on his own easily, and there may be danger on the road, I assume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. He said his intention is not malicious.
Well, what people say and what they do is different.
Indeed. He did offer that we could go with him, so if he does try something, we could step in, but it would give us a guaranteed way to get into the area.
I mean, I
Right.
suppose we've done worse to get into places, so sounds simple enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And my understanding is this border is perhaps not easy to cross, so
Okay.
the only other thing I could think of is if you try really hard to turn into an elf before we get there.
Right. Kiona will kind of
Oh,
look at
right.
herself. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you change faces, could you make yourself look like Darfin?
Oh, can you?
I don't have that spell anymore.
Oh. That's alright then.
You guys can't even remember the name of the organization Darfin belongs to. How could she possibly?
Look, I am
pass at
Lord, what do you mean? I remember everything.
Look,
It's okay. She can't do it. She doesn't have the spell, okay? So it would not be a disaster we can
Look,
witness. Okay?
all elves look the same.
Oh god.
Oh my
please,
goodness.
Please don't.
I open this can of worms. Anyway, I think it's our best bet. Think about it and let me know, and I'll send word back about our decision.
Well, I don't know how I could force change. I've never been able to do it before. It just happens.
Right.
I mean, I could try, but we'd have to go out in the middle of a field somewhere, and I'd have to, you know, do the
Yeah,
thing. And
I don't want to put you through that. So if you're comfortable with it, we would be escorting his wagon, essentially.
it feels like the most sensible option.
Alright. Poodle?
Yeah. I mean, I worry about you, Kiana, but it may be a
I mean,
best option. Is that good? I don't know.
and going out into a middle of the field and just wild magic surging all over the place feels like some kind of interesting experience, but
Yeah. You may have a permanent negative impact on the area.
that's true.
It's dangerous.
Never really goes too well, huh?
No. Anyway. I'll let him know.
Okay. You know, I was thinking, unless there's anything else that I know we've got a lot on our plate right now. I've been thinking we haven't talked to the Muffin Man in ages. Should we go see what he's up to?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll tag along.
Kiona's up for a jaunt.
Let's do it. Is this a good time, Ghost? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Along the
okay.
way, Kiona will tell them about the deal with Underlore, and they can discuss how they want to move forward with that.
Yeah, we might have to do that between sessions.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Sorry, Megan and I are just chatting Darfin origins in chat.
Listen,
The,
it's plain.
the deep Darf lore.
The deep dark floor.
There is a small part of me that wants Kiona to disguise herself as Darfin. I know she doesn't have the spell anymore, but then
She does
then
have
have
a
to,
disguise
like-
capability as like the actor
But then-
background thing.
well, that's not the same though,
No.
right? Yeah,
I
can't use
know.
that to change what species you look like. But I would
Stick some
love,
Spock ears on yourself.
I would love for Kiona to have to pass as Darfin.
That would be terrible.
Oh, true.
No, that's terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that would not be good. Ghost Pepper, I also sent you a Discord message about
I haven't been looking
a
at Discord.
swap
Okay.
that I wanted to do as part of the thing.
I'll look into that later.
Okie dokes. Let's go see the
There
Muffin
you
Man.
Yeah, this is a perfect time to go see the Muffin Man. Although it is evening, but not too, thankfully not too late in the evening. As you walk over to the Muffin Man, Slade Ashrain, the Muffin Man with the most
You
like
know who the Muffin Man
obvious former fighter adventurer. with a name like Slade Ashrain, possibly dipped a couple levels in Barbarian. But he's all done with that life now, as you know. And when you enter his bakery, you see him with his apron still on, and he's sweeping some crumbs and flour dust off the floor into a little pile in a corner to be picked up. When you walk in, he looks up at you, and his face lights up, and a big grin splays itself across. He says, "Well, I'll be. I haven't seen you three in many moons now.
Hello.
How have you been?"
Busy.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah. And Foodle will tell him, like, without too many details, some of the like crazy fights that they've been in. You know, like just like swapping, you know, fight stories.
We fought
Oh,
a big
why?
mechanical rock monster.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Stuff like that.
Mechanical rock monster.
Yeah. And there was like a time I fought a version of myself. It was crazy. Anyway,
Really?
yeah. It's been a while.
Did you fight?
It's been a while.
Did you two fight a version of yourself as well?
Yeah, crappy version of myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
that tends to be the case. I've tangled with one or two of those myself in my day. Back before opening the bakery. Seems to be a staple of evil mages wanting to protect their stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, what have you
Hey,
been up
Shepin,
to?
I heard from your family that you got your dad back. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's been so wonderful. Mom was so
Well, I've just been minding my shop, training some of the militia to defend the caravan. Well, you lot are gallivanting around, taking care of the big threats before they land on our heads. We've got quite a capable group of youngsters holding the
Do you
fort
need any
here.
help?
You know, I think maybe they do. They could learn a thing or two from some adventurers who are old and rusty like me. I've been organizing a little bit of a friendly tournament of sorts.
Oh?
Yeah. Got a couple teams of younger folk who've joined the community militia here, looking to cut their teeth and prove themselves. What do you think? Maybe you three can give them a run for their money.
I think so.
Sounds like could be fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's just about planting season back home, and that always came with a spring festival. Not much to plant these days, but it's important to keep traditions alive. So a couple days from now, we'll have a little bit of a festival, and a small dust-up tournament will be part of it.
Perfect. Well, we'll teach them what we can. Maybe they'll show us a thing or two.
Maybe. If you believe it, those two that run the distillery, Wilner and Knott, they joined the militia.
Really?
Yeah. Back
That's
when we were
amazing.
parked at the Rift, they learned a thing or two that they thought they could apply towards defending the caravan, and well, they have a couple crazy inventions of theirs that they want a field test.
Oh, fascinating.
I think they intend to field test it on you at this tournament, so
Oh,
I guess you'll find it real fascinating.
They'd be welcome to. Kiona likes them. She loves Wilner Not. Every time they appear, they make her giggle. So she's like, yeah.
well, Mazra, I mean, it would be, I think it might be unsporting for us to take a look at it beforehand, but I'd love to take a look at what they've got after the tournament.
What's left of it?
Yeah, that's right. We'll help him repair.
Well, sounds perfect then.
All right. Well, let me get some muffins before we go.
Now they're not fresh; they're baked from this morning, left over. But if
I'll
I
take them.
knew you'd be coming, I would have made you 3 a fresh batch. But there you go, my finest lemon poppy seed muffins.
Oh, my favorite.
Wonderful.
All right, and he bags up half a dozen lemon poppy seed muffins for you and hands it over.
Thank you.
Now, you don't save these for an hour before the tournament. You gotta have those dusted off beforehand. Proper diet and all that.
Right. I'm gonna eat mine now. Foodle just starts eating his. These are delicious.
And Foodle, you find that your taste has come back a little bit, so you can enjoy the lemon poppy seed muffins. After that sip of Da Bomb in tea form.
Ghost, I
Yeah.
have a question for you, and it's kind of putting you on
Yeah.
the spot. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
okay. Maybe I have a question
I'm
for
ready.
the group. Because I know we're hoping to have a guest next week. I just
Ooh.
want to do a time check for. 'Cause I know Woof,
Yeah.
Um,
So I've pivoted my plans.
Okay.
I'm thinking like we can go like a little bit more if there's things you guys want to wrap up before ending. Because I know that we've all had some character stuff. If you want to talk about any of the things that you've had go on, we can do that. But I've as I went through my mind about how I'm going to introduce our guest player and everything like that, I've pivoted that a little bit to fit it in with our tournament. So we're going to start with that.
Nice.
next
Oh,
week.
that's gonna be
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Okay.
Fantastic.
Well, in that case, I'm kind of gonna throw something at you, and I apologize about this, because there
Do
don't
it.
seem to be any rules for it, in like at least the player's handbook. I don't know,
Okay.
but Flutter and I have been chatting. She is swapping out one of her spells, and I think it would be cool if Foodle had access to arrows that could be like lit and then fired to a spot. Foodle doesn't want to shoot these arrows at people, like he doesn't want to hit an enemy with them, so the damage doesn't matter. But it's more like, I don't know, the sort
Just
of
to
the
put a
action
flame
economy and
somewhere.
that sort of thing. Yeah, and like the costs. I mean, I would assume they'd be more expensive, right? Because they've got oil and probably a cloth or whatever, right? Like
Right.
that sort of thing. Right. And I found something on. Here, I'll just stick it in our.
That would be so
because
cool.
I know it would combo really, really well with this spell Pyrotechnics. Do you want to send it to Ghost Flutter?
I did
Yeah.
already.
Oh, she's already sent it to me. I'm
Okay.
looking at it.
Okay. Now, obviously, you don't have to do this, right? It's just something that I found that it was like, yeah, perfect, right? Like, I don't know. Anyway. Made sense to me, and I know I'm throwing it at you in the middle of an episode, and I'm sorry. I apologize.
Ghost had responded to me like, we can look at this later in terms of the prestidigitation thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind. We can do it between sessions. That was the only other thing that I was going to ask you, like, you know, because Foodle would like to go buy those, but that can be done between sessions. It doesn't matter. So
Right.
anyway.
So I'm not 100% clear what you're asking when it comes to this.
What the cost
Right.
of a flaming arrow would be?
Oh, you're
and-
just asking like to buy flaming arrows, or are you asking to turn regular arrows into flaming arrows with pyrotechnics?
No.
Ah, right. So what we
That's all I'm
want
unclear
is
about.
arrows
Yeah.
that Foodle can ignite and like
Yeah.
fire to a location that then
Yeah.
Kiona can use pyrotechnics on. Because we're not always gonna have
Oh.
Right,
a-
right.
Like, how cool is that combo, right? Like, oh, I love that so
Okay,
much.
Yeah.
hold on.
Or
I don't
fucking
know. That
hardcore,
sounds super
actually.
dope to me.
Would
Okay.
be
Right?
amazing.
And you're
and both uses of pyrotechnics could be really
Yeah.
amazing in different
Right?
situations. Hmm.
Yeah. So again, like
So
the damage
Flutter,
doesn't
your
matter. He's not going to be
question
firing them at enemies. I will never fire these at an enemy. Like, I don't care.
No, right.
fire lit by
Like,
prestidigitation would be considered not a magical fire. So that's the other use
That was
of
the
it, right? Where,
question
like,
that I was-
action
yeah.
action 1 you light the fire, action 2 you cast
Right.
pyrotechnics off that
Yeah.
fire.
That was the
Okay.
other in case
Yeah.
of Kiona having to do it for whatever reason.
Yeah. First of all, what you're talking about with the fire arrows, 100% that works.
Okay.
Like that just seems like a good combo.
Okay.
Right, that's just
for
smart.
It's gonna be
anybody-
Foodle. Kiona gives him the look, you know,
Right.
and Foodle fires off a fire arrow to
Or
a location.
Foodle could just
and-
yell Kiona and do it and still
Yeah.
respond.
Well, we need-
like
Yeah, we need to come up with a name for this, right? Like, we gotta
Mhm.
have a name for each one,
Yeah.
right? And then we just
Yes.
shout that out
you
during a
just
fight.
shout this rando thing. People be like, yes, fluffer nutter.
I mean, I gotta give credit
I
where
love
credit's
it.
due. From,
That's
from
amazing.
Not from campaign 2. but
I
yeah.
love it. I love it. It's
I
so
mean, we
good.
could steal it. They're not gonna.
We
they're
could
not
use
gonna
whatever
know.
though. When Foodle can
Yeah.
literally come up with anything on the spot. And
Mm.
I mean, if you don't
Mhm,
come up with anything,
mhm.
Foodle's just gonna shout fluffer nutter. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and here, chat, you guys can take a look. This is the combo that we're thinking. So Foodle would fire an arrow out that's on fire,
Mm.
and then Flutter could maybe like light the place up,
Mhm.
you know. Because otherwise, I don't know how much use she's gonna get out of pyrotechnics, you know?
I
Like,
really was thinking of using it more utility. You know what I mean? Hoping that at
Right.
the beginning of fights there might be groups of enemies around a fire or something where she could try to initially like get them set up with a smoke
mhm.
cloud or
But
a,
then,
you know.
but then she inspired me as I'm reading it. I was like,
Yeah.
how cool would that
But
be?
we
And,
could,
you know, he's
if there's
literally
a moment
ranging,
in
you know.
battle where it came in, like
Right.
it could be
Yeah.
cool. I just
But
I
anyway,
replaced
Even if
Please.
somebody's holding a torch, I think that fire's caused by prestidigitation was your other question.
right, yeah.
I think those fires are non-magical because
Yeah.
it's like the magical effect is starting the fire.
Right.
That was my
Um,
take.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And I think that
So I'm thinking of yeah, this is a long walk back to 3rd edition, but in 3rd edition Forgotten Realms there was something called Spellfire,
mhm.
where certain characters had access to this ability, and you know they got Spellfire points by absorbing magic. So if someone cast a spell at them, they would absorb the spell, but certain spells didn't work because it's like Fireball, for instance, is like
It's an AoE,
the
not
fireball itself is
specific
not
thing?
magical.
Yeah.
It's the creation of it, right? So
Right.
something that creates an alternative form of energy is not like that alternative energy is not. Yeah. Anyway, it's a long walk to say that I would say that prestidigitation ceases to be magical after the initial.
after it's lit.
Yeah.
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 That's what I thought.
Fucking lit.
And I chose to swap Scorching Ray for this spell because I feel that in my recent experience trying to use Scorching Ray in battle, it hasn't been as useful. as a damaging spell as I want it to be. So I want to try
it's
thing, a different utility spell.
It's kind of
That's...
it's kind of a spell that like we've outgrown it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing, right? Yeah. It just doesn't do enough damage for what it is. Yeah, what it should be.
Yeah.
And scaling it up doesn't make it worth it, I think. So
upcasting.
Yeah,
is just not...
it's just extra things that may or may not land. So I feel like
because you're what, like you upcast and it's like
it's only an extra
attack that does 2d6 or something like that.
Right? Yeah. So I feel like if Kiona wants to do damage at this point, she's gonna do some wicked damage. I feel like this spell slot is better served with something else. So
And I love combos. Like, how cool is this?
And to be able to do that would be fun, super fun,
right?
Whatever the outcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is what I'm saying. If we had designed our characters at like at ground level, at level 20 or whatever, these things I would not be able to like change throughout.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah, this is gonna be super fun. I can't wait to try that
so
out. And the reason I'm asking you about it, Ghost, is because I would love to do it. Like, if it comes up, man, that would be super fun to do in this fight, right?
Yeah, I was thinking so too. It would be fun to play with some of these new abilities a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have the chance
I'm so excited.
because in 2 in-game days' time, you're gonna have a little bit of a friendly tournament against against some of your neighbors. Did you just say "oh yeah" to the thing that we literally
No,
just covered?
I had another different little epiphany. Who were we going to report to about Kiona having the bad reaction to casting that spell? Was Kiona going to report to somebody about that? I don't know.
Bad reaction.
When she cast the spell to identify the slippers, it made her like have a headache, like gave her like an insta migraine. And that's a thing that she noted, but also forgot about by the end of the session. So
yeah, are we gonna get another little pip of downtime in those 2 days, or like what's the? Because I thought of something I want to do, but it's not really something that I think needs to be played out.
DM it.
Okay.
DM it to me. We can
I'll
talk
send
about
it to you. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
yeah, you guys.
Thanks, Ghost. You're the best.
This has been so fun.
Well, I'm out of everything, but
Amazing.
I can tell you who your opponents are going to be.
Oh, really?
Time permitting, there's going to be up to 3 encounters. But it's going to be purely based on time. So if it's like the first encounter is dragging on too long, I might cut one of these.
Yeah.
But so you've got Wilner and Not, and they have a couple of inventions that they're going to test out on you. Another one is that Mazer has been putting together a band of ex-Bloodfoot orcs and wants them to cut their tusks against the party.
What?
Yeah.
Auntie, no.
Oh.
Auntie, yes.
Oh yeah.
And then some of the bastard brand have decided to join the militia to make a little bit of extra cash.
All right.
So there you go.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And can you beat them up too, Torvax? Yes. And
You
then
can.
the other one is Torvax. Torvax the Destroyer.
Hell yeah.
Consumer of worlds.
God, what if Torvax is one of the Bloodfoot orcs? Oh God.
That would
I'm
be
gonna
amazing.
say Torvax
So
is a level 17 Warlock.
Oh!
17 Warlock.
God. Heckin' bonk indeed.
Heckin' bonk time. Yeah.
Amazing.
Torvax, destroyer of worlds. It is heckin' bonk time for you.
Oh, God.
Amazing. I love it.
With that really chill music playing.
Oh.
Just like little meandering, like hanging out, having a picnic by the brook. It is I, Torvax, destroyer of worlds. Funny.
my
Terrifying.
goodness.
All right. Yeah, and hopefully next week, we will have our guest player.
Yes.
I am in communication with them, so I'm looking very much forward to it. I think I know. Yes, my channel next week. Ghost Pepper channel next week. I know the species and class combo that they're running, and you guys are gonna love it.
Dear Afima!
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, Dear Afima. There
Dear
isn't a Dear
Afima,
Afima.
There are some
for
things that I
this
can't
week.
convince Mazra to do in bed.
No. Write it. Write it down. Write it down in the channel on the Ghost Pepper Discord. There is a channel titled Dear Afima. Send Afima your
You
letters.
have to read it in
asking her
Kiona's
for
voice
advice.
if I send it in Discord, though. Okay.
She is going to. Megan is gonna record 2 videos so that we're ahead, so that we don't fall behind, because things happen. And Megan just wasn't able to get it done. She wasn't feeling well last time, and this week she was busy trying to catch up after not feeling well. So, but we will be beginning the Dear Afima segment during our warm up next Tuesday.
Woohoo!
Voice, no video. Voice, no
Right.
video.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Which is
makes
perfect, because that's much easier to put on the OBS anyway. Because
Yeah.
we all just run with desktop sound. So
Oh my goodness! All right, you guys,
Yep.
thank you so much for being here. Let's do a raid.
Let's do it.
let's do a raid.
I see Joe is playing, and we were talking about Joe at the very beginning, and I feel like that's a thing. I
Let's
know
get
we
him.
raid Joe, but we love raiding Joe. He's such
We
a
love
delightful
raiding
person.
Joseph.
I almost typed that in the wrong chat.
The Glizzy King himself.
We didn't even get to the Ashen Plain.
We
this
did
session.
not. It's amazing. Let's
So,
do. a
We're gonna have to come up with another
D&D.
title for this episode, because
Right.
the title for the episode didn't come up at all.
Oops. Dude, I've definitely done that. Oh my god, I like let's optimistically title an episode, The Serpent of the Greywood, and then whenever it comes up, I'm like, I thought we were gonna have a dragon fight.
If you have the emotes.
There we go. The title of the episode is The Grandfather. We'll
Hey.
fix it in post. We'll fix it in
That's so
post.
good. That's perfect.
Yes. All right. Fantastic.
All
You
right.
guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Torvax, Striker. I see Solo Bunny stopped in. Y'all are
Where am I-
amazing.
Where's my Flutter Dance emote?
Yeah, I'm
Do you-
subbed. Is that?
Do you
is-
have?
oh, is that
Oh,
like a
is that
channel
a?
emote?
Oh, it might not be. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a bit emo.
Oh,
It's a
I don't
bit
even
emote.
know where I have these
What?
things. I'm sorry.
It's here too.
I thought.
Oh my
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
What a scam! What a scam!
Freaking high
What do you
roller
think?
over
Are
That's
we-
why.
are we
That's
whales?
why the.
Do you think
Who's
Look,
we're
got
I'm
that
whales?
so
kind of money?
sorry.
Like,
Look,
you
I
kidding
know
me?
what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
You,
Damn. Oh, that's it. Thanks,
That's it.
everybody.
the raid just popped in the middle of that.
Shit.
Oh my god, how terrible.
Oh
Wait,
my
did it not
gosh.
take me on the raid? It didn't even take me on
It
the
didn't
raid.
take you.
Which, what the fuck?